it's quite common for us if we have like a pizza each to not complete said pizza. Sometimes I'll eat 3/4 of it. Sometimes I'll only eat half. But invariably, I'll never eat all of it in one go because you get 10-inch pizza.
Baz, I genuinely don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth right now because that has never happened to me in my entire life.
Wine just tastes like shit. I mean, I can have a bit of prosecco, and I'll have a bit of. I can have some sparkly stuff, but everything else is just piss.
Making a big assumption that both of us are still alive by then, and also can be arsed. So, if those two things happen, then we will have a 100th episode.
I think we could probably see that out because 100 would be quite sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And then we'll set fire to all our podcasting stuff and go out in a blaze of glory.
Or put it on eBay.
Or just carry on doing it.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to the Mildly Controversial Podcast. Well, Baz, this is the first one we've recorded since you were here. And when I say you were here, yes, I literally mean here. So if anyone's, for everyone watching on Facebook and YouTube, that is currently a settee was where Baz slept for 3 days.
It was an odd experience because, it wasn't until you showed me the room I was kind of like, oh, this is your podcast room. That's the... Because I couldn't work out, because I said, there's not a bed in there. And you said, no, it's a sofa, which you can see in the background there. So.
There you go. Well, I mean, you say it's my podcast room. It used to be referred to either as the podcast room or the office, because Emma uses it for work calls and things like that. But now and forevermore, Baz, it will be referred to as Baz's bedroom.
Oh, is that because I spent 3 days in there farting?
Oh, yes, because it still smells of you and you've been gone a week and a half.
Yeah, I can still smell it.
So, tonight what we're going to do is we are going to go through a bunch of our mildly controversial opinions. So, going back to the roots of the podcast, Baz prepared a bunch on the way over to come to Ireland, and we did a number of different things. So, he's still got stuff burning away in his brain.
Yeah.
So, before he forgets, as elderly men do,
or lose the note on my phone,
before he forgets and looks back at his phone and goes, I don't remember what that one was even about. Yeah. We need to get them out of Baz's head into a microphone ASAP. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
Cool.
One thing I do want to say, though, Baz, is I hesitate to say I'm definitely going to give up booze for March. So people will be listening to this in March. So I think this one will go out on 3rd or 4th of March. So there's every chance I'll have started drinking already by the time this goes out. But my plan is we're now on the 28th of Feb, and my plan is just to not booze on the head for March, because I go on an all-inclusive holiday for 10 days in April, and then I go on a lads golf trip for 4 days as well. So April is going to be very much not dry. It's going to be April showers to throw in that analogy.
That makes sense to me. I'd be treating booze like I'd be practicing now to get ready for April. I'd be doing sets of drinking just so you get used to it.
You've been training.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So but just so you do one night heavy.
Yeah.
Then one night, I feel shit and have a bit of a quiet time.
I do pyramid sets over the days.
That's exactly what it is. Peak up and then you have a deload afterwards.
Tapering towards the end of March.
Yeah, you only drink shandy at the end, and then you drive straight back into it again. So in the next couple of days you'll be drinking neat whiskey and putting it in your eyeballs just to give you the effect.
Yeah, your idea of family holidays and lads golf holidays very different to mine, Baz. But yeah. But no, I'm gonna knock it on the head a bit. I don't know if I'm gonna commit to no booze at all, but I just to be honest, I've got a month to shed a bit of timber before I get it out in the my belly. I mean, on holiday. So so for that reason, I this week I'm on red wine.
Very, very posh.
Yeah, well, I don't often drink red wine, but I do like a nice drop of red wine. And I've got it in a glass that I poured myself a bit, because you're supposed to, with red wine, you're supposed to let it breathe or something. You're supposed to like open it a bit before you want it, and then put it like
for a couple of weeks or something like that.
don't know, and then it's like in a carafe or something like that. Well, my version of that is just get a glass that's big enough to pour half the bottle into, and let it breathe.
That's the design, isn't it?
Yeah, and let it breathe. You know, it's going to have a go at breathing quickly because I'm already drinking it. So
I've never understood that, because surely if you wanted to just pump oxygen into it, it's the same as what you do at the hospital, isn't it?
Give it CPR.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I'm at. I'm on red wine. It's a Ruby Cabernet from 2022, and it's from South Africa, I believe.
What a great year.
Well, you know what? All I was like, I literally went. I went down because the place that I bought it from, the wine is structured by price first. Literally, like you go like this. Here are some $8.99 wines. Here are some $9.99 wines, and within that you'll have whites, reds, everything.
Is it like setting your Amazon settings where sort by price lowest first?
Well, it is, yeah. And to be honest, I'm not talking about. I didn't go to like a winery or a vintner's or anything like that. It's the petrol station down the road because I was late. Yeah. Anyway, I went to that. I thought, right, I'm going to get an $8.99 wine. I'd prefer red, and that left me with 2 or 3. So I just got the one that sounded like it was strongest, not in alcohol content, but just like proper taste to it, like full-bodied and fruity and packs a decent punch. And I think it has. So
I'm shaking my head because none of this makes any sense to me. I don't have that. I don't have a wine taste. Wine just tastes like shit. I mean, you know, I can have a bit of prosecco, and I'll have a bit of. I can have some sparkly stuff, but everything else is just. It's just piss.
Baz, I'm so thankful to you that we're only 6 minutes into the recording this week, and I know that I've got a highlight for the front bit where it says, coming up on this week's show.
Yeah,
it's just
wine is shit.
Wine is piss. Wine is shit. And then a portion, like a couple of seconds later, it just tastes of piss. So
yes.
People will already have heard that because that was definitely on the highlights at the start of it.
Oh, I need to slightly bring up something that I found out subsequently after I got home, because I went and met my mate Roger, and he informed me about something that we'd got wrong on the podcast.
Oh, go on.
It wasn't 1-1 in the Battle of the Bullshitters. It was 2-0.
To you?
Me? Yeah.
So it's now 3-0?
Yes.
Oh,
it was just one of those odd things, because like he said, I'm sure you were 2-0 up. So I went back and checked, and I listened to the end of both of the last two that we did, just because I thought, I don't remember it. And then, so it's 3-0.
Wow, okay, 3-0. No, many thanks to Roger for doing that, for doing something I frankly couldn't be asked to do. So,
you remembered?
I don't mind. I don't mind being 3-0 down. I didn't remember, and I couldn't be asked checking. So it's 3-0 down. So okay, no problem at all. So yeah, if you haven't heard that latest one, that is 2 episodes ago. So the episode that went out last week, i.e. today in our world, Baz, was the my next wife, her next husband, with special guest my wife Emma.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard that one, go back a bit. It's the last one before this one, and then the one before that was the Battle of the Bullshitters. And pretend I don't say that it's currently 1-1 and that Baz goes 2-1 up in that. Pretend I said it was 2-0 to Baz and he's now 3-0 up.
It's not flexing, by the way. It's just more the fact that I didn't know about it, and it would have gone on forever as like 2-1.
I do love and appreciate the fact that somebody cares enough to listen to the podcast and remember stuff like that, because I clearly don't.
Yeah, same.
I care enough about the podcast. I just don't care enough about the score. That's what I mean. And it's probably because I was 2-0 down that I didn't care enough. If I was 2-0 up, I'm sure I would have remembered it. Right. Okay, Baz, kick us off tonight, mate.
Right. So obviously, as you said earlier, we had to write some new stuff when I was coming over, and obviously you get a bit of time on the plane, and so I just wrote about stuff that was happening. And the first one, airport security is fucking whack. That's what I wrote.
Nice. Jesus.
And really, there's no explaining this. Although, having said that, on the journey back, it was a piece of piss, because obviously Belfast.
It was dope.
Yeah.
It was whack one way, dope the other.
Well, Belfast is either more efficient or there's just less people through it. But I came to see you via the wonderful Luton Airport, and I had all the time in the world, and it still took an hour to get through like security on a Friday afternoon or Friday midday. It just does my head in and it's watching people going through the motions, and but I watch people using the fucking tray system, and it's like they've never ever either been to an airport before. They can't read instructions, or they just have a complete fucking brain fart when they get to that bit there. And there's also the bit I noticed as well that, like, because it was quite busy, trays weren't coming out. So what people were doing, they were all queuing back and waiting for trays to pop out. Whereas if you'd walked to the gap where there was, because they have these bays now, don't they, left over from COVID, and you can go in there and you can just wait there rather than have. But people do that thing where, when you've got multiple checkouts, and you form one queue and then you go to the free ones. Yeah. People are kind of, not willing to hedge their bets. So I was about 3 back, and I went, "Are you waiting for?" I went to the guy there. "Are you waiting for one particular one?" Like you do with like a hairdresser's. And he was like, "No." So I just sort of walked past him, went to the available one down here, and then a tray popped out, and you could feel everyone like burning holes in the back of my head, going, "Oh, you absolute cunt!" But I was like, "Why are you stood back here? Just go and stand there."
There you go.
Anyway, that's my rant on airport security.
Love it, Baz. Love it. And and I've just got back. We, me and the family were back to England for my dad's 80th at the weekend. So I've flown out of Dublin Airport and back from Manchester Airport. And I'm pleased to say that neither had a sizable queue at security. But I have to come back and wholeheartedly endorse and support one of the things you said, that when you said, like, people have either never been through an airport. And look, some people will never have been through an airport. Okay, I get that, but not that fucking many of them.
No,
the number of people who get to the front, who may be dressed as I am currently. If you want to know what that is, I'm not going to paint pictures with words this week. I'm going to force you over to Facebook or YouTube. But yeah, people who get to the front and then they go, "Can you take your hat off, please?" So they take the hat off and they say, "Can you take your jacket off, please?" And they go, "Take the jacket off, please." "Oh, can I have your belt?" "Take your belt." Doing that there, right at the front. Yeah. Every single time I go through security, I will take my wallet out of my pocket, put it in my jacket pocket. I'll take my watch off, put it in my jacket pocket. I'll take my keys, put them in my jacket pocket. I'll put all the coins. Everything I've got, I will put in my jacket pockets, because I know I'm going to take my jacket off and put it in the tray every single time.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll do that, and I'll take my belt off, hold it in my hand. I'll take my jacket off, sling it over my arm. So when I get to the thing, I'm literally lobbing my jacket in, taking my hat off, putting that in, and I'm away then.
Yep.
I've done all the checking your pockets. I did all that in the queue where there was fuck all else to do.
Multiple times as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There's nothing in here, is there?
There's nothing else to do while you're in that snake queue.
Yeah.
So you can see all the signs that say, you got to do this, you got to do this. Do it while you're waiting, and it's much quicker for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% agree with you there, Baz.
Yeah.
That was never going to be like rejected or whatever like that. That was always going to be.
That was just allowing me to rant.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I 100% agree with you. Although what we found was that on the way there, they're trialing those new scanners. All scanners by the end of 2025. You can take more than 100 mils through. You won't have to take anything out your bag. You'll be able to leave your all your waters, your potions, your creams and all that kind of stuff, and your electrics and everything. You just put your bag on, and the new scanners will work it all out. You don't need to pull anything out. So they're new, and they're coming by the end of 2025.
Does that mean you won't have to glug all your water there at the last minute and throw the bottle into the bin?
Nope. And you'll be able to take a litre bottle of vodka. More importantly, you'll be able to take a litre bottle of vodka if you're only paying for hand luggage.
All right.
So all of that's coming, and they threw us through one that it's being trialled, and I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant! We don't have to do anything." So I just lobbed everything in the box, in the tray. It went through this magic scanner, but then I had to wait for ages because there was a queue of boxes, because it's a trial thing. So many ones had been kicked down the naughty side. Everybody knows what I mean by that. When your tray comes out of the scanner and it sits there, and it's almost like there's a little drum roll.
Yep.
And am I going to get like a little cymbals as it comes, like, and it'll come down to me? Or is it going to do the old family fortunes and go down the other side and have to queue up again to have it checked by somebody?
I've never been down that queue ever.
You've never been down there? Jesus.
No. Yeah. Well, maybe just because it's like, say, I'm always ultra efficient when I get to that point there. That everything, I don't take. The only thing I have with me that's remotely like a liquid is a Lipsil.
Yes.
And I'm always worried they'll go, you can't have that. And I'm like, fuck.
Yes. Imagine that, Baz. Imagine being in a situation where you would be without lip moisturising.
Yeah, mate.
For a period of time it would take between you having it confiscated and finding somewhere to buy a new one.
Yeah, but see, I only have one sort that I use. So, like, nothing else works. I remember when I went to Vegas, I literally had I was like 6-7 days there in, horrible panic because they didn't sell my brand there and my lips was just suffering the whole time. So, I literally have Lipsil or lip balm panic attack if I leave the house without a lip balm. My bag's usually got 3 in it. I've got them in the car. I've got them all over the place.
I'm not judging you, Baz. I don't know what that little chuckle was. I think it was nervous laughter. I didn't really know where to go with that. But no, okay, cool. Well, look, I 100% agree with you on all the... and I will repeat it, Baz, in the semi-gangster style that you said it in. Airport security is indeed whack.
Yeah.
Endorsed. What have you got next off your list there, Baz?
Right. Another part of my journey is rather than driving to the train station, getting a train to Luton Airport Parkway, then getting the new sort of Skyrail thing to the airport, I decided I'd just get a cab from home because it was about the same price and fucking easier. So my next one is I genuinely love cab banter, or the usual conversation that you have when you get into a cab, and everyone knows what it is.
Yep.
I think it's the same from around the world. So, what would you say your number one thing is when you get in with a cab driver?
Well, Peter Kay does a couple of ones.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But he says a couple of ones in his routine, which are kind of, he does observational comedy and really kind of resonated with me. So I'll do the two. Yeah. He gets in and he goes, "Have you been busy?"
Yeah, that's it.
Is one, and then what time are you on till?
Yeah. They're classics, aren't they?
Yeah.
So even when you get picked up by a cab driver like 11 a.m. on a Friday morning, and he's only driving you to the airport, the same thing still comes. Have you been busy? Oh, what time did you start? What time are you finishing?
I love that. It's a bit like the all the TikTok things of like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it in your head, and you go, don't say it. Been busy? Oh, for fuck's sake! You can't not say it when you get into a cab.
Yeah, but it's also do you have names that you have for cab drivers? Or not their names, because obviously they come up these days on apps. But like down south that they call the taxi drivers drive. Literally, all right, drive.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not a thing that's reached me in either my UK base or my Ireland base.
So yeah, having been exposed to that's become my norm now, is to get into a cab and go, all right, drive.
All right, drive.
Yeah, drive. It's just it works perfectly. And I guess at some point someone might take umbrage with it, but it seems like everyone that's acceptable.
I like that. I like it. It's I know you're not a Cockney, but or a Cockney as it's more accurately pronounced. That'll confuse the Americans.
Yeah.
It feels Cockney banterish, doesn't it? It's like, all right, drive. Watch your drive.
Yeah, I heard it when I was down in Bournemouth. So I mean, it's obviously that's where a lot of Cockneys move out to.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a bit. It's all of it, isn't it? So the daytime stuff is the same thing. It's kind of like going, "Oh, what are you doing after this then? Did you get to the airport much? Is it better to do one long run to the airport or loads of little short runs?" I had it all, mate. I had all the questions.
So and that's something I've always wanted to answer, always wanted answered, Baz. So is it better for a taxi driver to do one long run or lots of little ones?
Well, he was kind of saying he preferred to do lots of little ones, but then he went, but it is kind of better. Like, we just have to do one job and you earn the same money as you do for the same amount of time. And I was like, well, there you go then. So surely if you had 2 of these a day or 3 of these a day, you wouldn't have to spend so many times like wondering whether the next person who gets in your cab is the absolute fucking knobhead that you must sort of hate talking to.
Well,
he also commended me on being very early to the airport because I was super early.
Oh, very good.
Yes,
I'm not surprised, Baz. I'm not surprised.
I'm panicky.
It's a very Baz thing to do. So yeah, a couple of things on that is I remember flying into Emma and I chatted about this as we got back to Dublin Airport because in my corporate days, our European head office was in Dublin. It was in Dublin. The address was Airside Business Park, Dublin.
Oh, yeah.
So it's literally, if you were allowed to and you could climb over the fence, it would be 2 minutes away. So a kind of an extension of what you were saying about do they like one big trip or lots of little trips.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't like the fact that they had to queue up for ages to wait for somebody from the airport.
Oh, I can imagine.
And then this dickhead got in and said, basically, can you take me round the corner, please? So he's been waiting ages in this massive queue of taxis. And I've got in the cab and basically said, I'm going to be paying you £4 or €4, and you're going to have to turn around and queue back up again. So he didn't like that. And at no point did he ever like that. He wasn't happy.
I can imagine.
Right, Baz, another one. Next off your list, pal. Next off the rank.
Off the rank.
Yes. To carry on the taxi analogy. That means that I'm going to have to put the taxi one immediately before this in the edit now. So make it a good one.
Oh, damn it. No, I was just not going to read the one I was going for. So, obviously, when I'm away, like, during weekdays, it stops me from working at home. I work at home on a laptop. My next one is, I hate when clients expect me to do work for them when they want it and not when I can do it.
Nice. And the big thing about that, Baz, is being self-employed and allowed to manage your own calendar. Because obviously, if you've got a proper job and your boss says, I need you to drop everything and do this, you have to drop everything and do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Go on, give us more. Add meat to the bones, Baz.
Well, I'm running up to a few jobs now. I won't say what they are in case anybody's listening to this and stuff.
And thinks you're talking about them, which you are.
Yeah, which I am, but I'm not. I'm just talking about a client in general.
It's other people. It's definitely not the people who are listening to this. If anyone is listening to this who works with Baz, if you think it's you, it's definitely not you, whether it's you or not that he's talking about.
Thanks.
There we go. I've covered you, Baz.
Yeah, so it's that thing of someone will go, I've got a thing I need doing on Friday. And I'm sorry, I'm not about on Friday. Oh, well, can you do it? Can you do it before Friday? And the real answer is no, because I'm already busy doing other stuff. But it's like, we really need it. It's that insistence. We really need it for Friday. All right, I'll do it for you. So I'll just do a longer day. And there's a couple of times I've finished doing the podcast and I've gone down and done a bit just because I know if I do a bit tonight, I won't have to do a bit tomorrow. But yeah, I find that maybe I'm just having a moan about being self-employed and then being at the behest of people that want to pay me good money to do work for them. It's very annoying.
Well, if there are people lining up, Baz, to pay you good money to do stuff that you find annoying, pass them my way. No idea if I can help, but I'll charge them to find out.
But it's the thing, isn't it? It's like you're self-employed and you have clients.
Yes.
But it's a bit different with you. You tell them when to turn up, don't you?
Yes, but I also do some like consultancy and different things, and Mike Snedden Multimedia as well.
Yeah,
obviously,
of course, yeah,
is doing stuff for other people. But I do like being self-employed because you can manage your calendar to a degree. But like you say, when you get people to go, I need you to do this right now.
Yeah, well, I have the same thing. If someone says, "Oh, can you do this next week?" and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I'm doing another job on Monday and Tuesday." And they were like, "Oh, you never mentioned that." Well, I don't tell you all the jobs I do for other people. I'm self-employed. I think I've made that quite clear in this short rant I'm making right now.
Well, do you know, like, all right, Baz, be honest. Have you ever had a client Do you call them clients? No.
I call them clients.
That's something like that, isn't it? Have you ever had a client come to you and said, I need you to do something tomorrow? And you just think, and you sat there and thought, well, I could, because it's not going to take that long, and I'm free, but I don't really want to. So you say, I can't do it tomorrow. And they were like, all right. We're like, oh, it'll take too long, and I'm very busy and all that. And then they go, all right, like, oh, we'll pay you a bit of extra money. And then you just go, oh, okay, I will do it. Have you ever been in a situation, Baz, when you've done it first thing in the morning, realised it was a piece of piss, and just not sent it till the afternoon because you don't want them to know how straightforward it was and how not busy you were?
I have never, ever done that, Your Honour, in my life.
I have also never, ever done that in my life, Baz. Definitely never.
Yes.
Do you charge by time rather than job?
So like when I'm doing drawing work, it's just so I charge by the hour.
Right, okay. Well, I'm glad you don't charge me by the hour to do this podcast, Baz. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gone beyond one episode. So, look, maybe some people who've just stumbled across this podcast would wish it had only been one episode, but this is episode 77 since we changed the name of it. So, we're over 100.
Yeah.
Of all of them. I do have on the calendar the date that the 100th episode of the Mildly Controversial podcast goes out. So we need to record that. To be fair, I'm making a big assumption because we are, that's 24 episodes from now. Making a big assumption that both of us are still alive by then and also can be asked. So if those two things happen, then we will have a 100th episode and 20 odd weeks. That's probably going to be August or September, innit?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember the date. It is on my calendar, so
I think we can probably see that out because 100 would be quite sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And then we'll set fire to all our podcasting stuff and go out in a blaze of glory.
Or put it on eBay.
Or just carry on doing it.
Yeah.
Right, Baz, look, I'm going to come in with one, Baz.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to come in with one now.
You promised me greatness with this one. So
I've told you that this is quite a bombshell, this.
Actually, can I just ask a question? Did you use the word doozy earlier?
No.
Oh, because what you said, this one's a doozy. Maybe I'll just listen to something.
No. The only reason I'm so certain that I didn't use the word doozy is I'm not actually aware of what it means.
Oh, okay.
So I definitely did. If I did, then I don't know. Something's happened.
In fairness, I don't know what it means. I'll put it in context.
I couldn't even put it into context for you, Baz. If I said that, there's been a glitch in the Matrix.
Okay.
And something's happened.
So it features in Groundhog Day.
Oh. I've seen that film I've seen that film over and over again.
So the guy with the glasses, Ned or someone who Ned Bryerson,
right?
He meets outside the what's every day. So I think he said, that's a doozy or something. I'm sure he said.
I don't remember that, but there you go. Okay. Yeah. Does it mean a good thing or a big thing or what does it mean?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing. I think it means
that's
a
doozy,
good thing. So it's a big thing. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know if this is a doozy or not, Baz, but I think my next mildly controversial opinion, Baz, will come as quite a surprise to you.
Okay.
I'm going to have to take a deep breath on this one.
All right.
Air fryers are sensational.
Right, just go for it. Go for it.
Now, if you regular listeners will know why Baz has laughed so hard at that. But if you're not a regular listener and you are new to listening to us, the reason is that on a previous episode of the podcast, I said this. Baz, we've talked about air fryers on this podcast. It's just a small fucking oven. Don't be fooled. Having said that, it's quite the about turn to change my mind and say that air fryers are sensational. Go on. I've never in that episode. It was the episode with El
Burrito.
El Burrito Loco. That's a good one. Do apologise if anyone's offended by me affecting somewhat a Mexican accent. I don't even know if it was even
Tash
close.
is looking a bit Mexican. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you very much. So yeah, it was mentioned on that, and to my credit, I still stand by a lot of the things I said about them.
Yes.
It is just a small fucking oven. I said at the time, it's good that it's cheaper. It's good that it's quicker. It's not that much quicker, but it's easier and all those kind of things. And those are the reasons that, well, basically, Baz, since you were here 10 days ago, Emma came in the house and went, "I've given in, Mike. We've got one." I was like, "What?" And she walked in with a modest-sized air fryer.
Yeah,
it's a 3 litre, so it's only a little one, but it's enough. But it's enough to
chicken in there.
Yeah, but it's enough to do like chicken burger and chips or something like that. Because most of the time, our oven is used for pizzas. I do a belting macaroni cheese, and like pasta bakes and things like that. But the majority of time our oven is used, it is the top oven. We never ever use the bottom oven.
Oh, right, the big one.
In fact, it shows how little it's used, Baz. We don't have one. I've just remembered. We've only got one oven thing. Anyway, I might cut that out, or I might just leave it in to illustrate my stupidity. But anyway,
you got to laugh for me out.
There is a large oven. Okay, and a lot of the time it's used for when the kids come in and they might want a snack, or if they don't want to eat what we're eating, then it might be like a burger and chips or chicken nuggets and chips or that kind of stuff. You know, beige food out the freezer. Do you know what I mean?
Kiddie food, I used to
yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, I've been road testing it a lot since yesterday when we got it, Baz. I'm just pulling loads of shit out of the freezer going, I'm going to stuff all that in together and see if it works.
Exactly. It's like,
it
works! It's like when you got a microwave all the 30 years ago, isn't it? It's like, I'm going to heat water. It heats water. Of course it fucking does.
So, yeah, it does its primary purpose.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there are lots of benefits that I overlooked. Listen, I still stand by the fact it is just a small fucking oven. And a lot of the stuff, I can't find the episode where we talked about it in depth. And remember I went through a news article that was saying, here are things you can do in an air fryer.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's literally just anything you can do in the oven.
Yeah.
Like, other than like pizza because it's not big enough and, you know, obvious things like that.
Yes.
I mean, you can bake a cake. Everyone's got and there's loads of like Facebook pages got things you can do in your oven. You can bake a cake in it. And of course, you can bake a cake in it because it's a small oven and you can bake cakes in ovens. You fucking cretin. So like, I still stand by all that. But you said in the one with Ollie that you just received one as a moving in gift to your new home, and you were using it like 3 to 4 times a day. We're still in that honeymoon period. We're just like, I'll cook. Beep, 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 beep. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Can I just say as well that even though the honeymoon period doesn't end up with you trying loads of stuff in it, you'll end up using it every day because it suddenly becomes better than the microwave. Because microwave stuff is fine, but invariably it's soggy just warming up stuff.
Exactly.
You can't get good. You could get microwaves that got the dual bit in, and where you get stuff to go crispy, but crispiness on some foods is what you're after.
Absolutely. Sausage roll is a great example of that.
Yes.
We had some sausage rolls. Shay wanted it warmed up ages ago. He put it in the microwave and he walked away and ate it. I was like, I'd rather not have a sausage roll than have a sausage roll that's reheated in the microwave.
Yeah, because that thing will bend so much it'll touch your wrist as you try to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Limp as. It'll be the limpest sausage roll you've ever had. But yeah, I haven't tried a sausage roll in the air fryer yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be sensational. I'll say the word again.
Here's a quick one that is my go-to, and the reason that I said it was slightly better than an oven was I tend to put things in a wrap, which wasn't anything to do with El Burrito, but I was doing that.
Yeah,
before
you said that on there.
Yeah, and then you put it in there, crisp it up, and it honestly, it just takes it to a little bit, a thing. Don't get me wrong, I like a cold wrap, but like a hot wrap, let's get in there.
Excellent. I'm going to be all over that this week, guys.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, the things I like about it is the fact that there's like a presetting. So there's like you press a few buttons and it goes from like chips to chicken to like there's loads of kind of presets that knows how much time it takes. So on the chips one, I had a chicken burger and chips that I put in there today, and it was so I just put it on the chip setting and it says it does 18 minutes at 200 Celsius.
Yeah.
But it beeps you twice after 6 minutes and 12 minutes to give it a shake and move stuff around.
Oh, you have got a good one.
Oh,
you got reminder beeps.
Oh yeah, it's got reminder beeps. But ours was this is an Aldi one at 30 quid it cost.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant. But I did when I was editing the podcast yesterday, I set it off and then forgot to shake it and forgot to do its thing. But another brilliant thing about it is it turns itself off.
Yes.
So when you're doing stuff in the main oven, you've got to turn it on and warm the thing up in the first place, which takes longer and costs more money. And then if you forget you've got something in it, you potentially burn your own house down.
We've all done that.
Yeah. Usually pissed.
Mate.
But safe in the knowledge that if I stick a couple of sausage rolls and some chips in that thing when I'm pissed, it's just going to stop after 18 minutes and not burn my house down.
Well, I've got a sad tale about a bit of pizza that I did that very thing on.
I thought you were going to say, I've got a really sad story about my mate who fell asleep and burnt his house down and he's no longer with us.
No, this is more dramatic than that.
I'm glad your sad story was about a pizza and not a human dying.
Well, look, so like I don't know, it's quite common for us if we have like a pizza each to not complete said pizza. Sometimes I'll eat 3/4 of it, sometimes I only eat half, but invariably I'll never eat all of it in one go because you get 10-inch pizzas.
Baz, I genuinely don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth right now because that has never happened to me in my entire life. But carry on.
Quite a bit, and I've got a good capacity in my stomach. But so what you do is before we had the air fryer, obviously you used to put it in the oven, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then so Liz said to me, "Oh yeah, set the timer for so and so," and then obviously I heard it go off, but I was distracted by something. And then the next thing I've thought about it was when I could smell something burning.
It's definitely happened to me before.
That was the reminder of that beep was the time that I meant to get up and get my bit of pizza. And do you know what? When I opened it, it wasn't on fire, but it was black, and it was like if you crushed it, it would turn into a diamond. It was that kind of consistency, and my heart broke because I'd been looking forward to that pizza all morning.
Well, you know, you reap what you sow, Baz.
Yeah. But as you said, it doesn't happen in air fryer because it just stops and you can have another go.
Absolutely. I mean, our air fryer is not very big at all. It's you'll enjoy this, people on the audio podcast. It's about that big, like
about the size of my head. It's massive.
So yeah, I reckon you could get a couple of pizza slices in it, but it's not. It's deep, but not very wide. So you can pile stuff on it and move stuff around.
Yeah, they kind of go like most even single ones are designed for you to be able to get a chicken in there.
Yeah, it's like a bucket.
Size.
I'm not sure we'll get a chicken in there. We might get a poussin.
Poussin. Yes,
that's what they're called, isn't it? Those little ones.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
or a partridge.
Partridge, Baz. You know how often I'm roasting a partridge.
Yeah, well, pigeon. You know. Duckling.
Budgie. Joey.
No, well, birds you can cook in a fucking air fryer. That's a whole episode there.
Do you know what? Those little yellow chicks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you won't get much meat off it, but it definitely, you'd probably fit a handful of them in.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've just made myself cry with that image.
Well, it's just the same as having chicken wings. They're about the same size, but with no fur on them, aren't they? So.
Absolutely. Okay, so there is another thing that I stand by on. Not just stand by. I've rediscovered that irks me about air fryers is the name. There's no frying going on.
So I remember when air fryers first came out, and the big thing was you could cook chips in there and just a little spray of oil.
Yes,
and that used to be the way you did it, and they were much healthier. And I was like, and that was the thing that put me off. I was like, fuck that! I don't want chips that are just like healthy and they've just got a bit of sprayed oil on them. I want deep fried fucking chips.
And there you go. And that's the one we've got a massive air fryer that's got a rotating thing. Which is fine for chips because it turns them round and they come out lovely. And leftover chips from the chippy, instead of binning them, you leave them and put them back in that air fryer that turns them round. it gives them a second life.
Yes.
And it's
Twice
amazing.
cooked chipped.
Yeah, exactly. The second coming of a bag of chips. So, I mean, that's really good. But yeah, these ones, like ours even says oil-free frying.
Yeah.
It's not frying. Fuck off. Just stop it. I mean, look, if you cracked an egg in there expected to do a fried egg, you're going to have a trouble.
People have done that, I think, on TikTok.
Yeah, well, yeah, because ours has got holes in it to drain all the shit away. So you're going to end up with maybe the yolk, but all the white's gone.
So apparently you can do air-fried eggs, which I've never tried in the shells.
I can imagine you could. Well, yeah, in the shells. That just again, that's not a benefit for me. So for me, the benefit of the air fryer is chuck everything in there.
Yeah.
It'll tell you when you need to move it about. It'll tell you again, and then if you forget, it'll turn it off. And everything in there, because it's to set parameters.
Yes.
You know exactly that it's going to be bang on every single time, right? They're all the benefits of it.
Yeah.
I am a member of a Facebook group to do with air fryers and one to do with slow cookers. And they go like, oh, do you realise you could do hard-boiled eggs in your slow cooker? Do it like this, that, and the other. It's like, no, I'm going to fucking boil them for 10 minutes like I normally do, which is quicker than in the slow cooker. Who is doing these? Who does these things? And the same thing with the air fryer. I was like, do you know you can do this in an air fryer? Do you know you can do a toasty in an air fryer?
Oh, they're not as good.
No, I'm sure you fucking can, but I've got a machine over there that does them, and it'll do them in half the time. Why would you want
stick them in a Breville? That's what they were designed for.
Exactly. So that's what that pisses me off when I see these things. Things I'm genuinely interested in is like air fryers. Like, I know you could do cakes in an air fryer because, as we discussed, it's a small fucking oven.
Yeah.
So if you get those liner papers, you know, the greaseproof liner things you can get. You could do a small cake in there. I get it. And I'm in those groups to find recipes for cakes that do all right in the air fryer and, you know, and cookies and different things, you know. And with I joined the slow cooker one because we didn't use our slow cooker for like 2 years. And now that Emma's working, it just makes sense. So she'll prepare something, stick it in the slow cooker, and then when the kids come home at 4, they can have a bit. I can have a bit before the gym or after the gym. She can have some. We can all, you know, you don't need to eat it all right away. You can stick it on the keep warm setting and everyone eat whenever they're ready.
Yeah.
So that's why we started using the slow cooker. So I joined the group to find recipes that work well in the slow cooker. And it's just like, they're there, but they don't come onto your For You page because there's not much interaction on those.
Yeah.
You get the ones that, do you realise you can do a hard-boiled egg in it? And there's loads of interaction of people going, yes, of course you can, you fucking cretin, but why would you want to? You know what I mean? I've just remembered as well, talking of hard-boiled eggs, Emma bought an egg boiler from Aldi, right? 2 years ago. Came through the door and I was like, you'll never fucking use it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Just because you can have really good, a really good routine for getting a really good egg, but then it's like, oh, if you want it slightly runny, you got to do this, you got to change this. On that, all you got to do is that you get a little, you get a little pot, kind of a measuring thing that's got a spike on it. So you push the spike into the egg, to create a little hole in it
for the air gap.
Yeah, and then you fill. Depending on how many eggs and whether you want it hard, soft, or medium or whatever, that's the amount of water you put in. And again, you throw that in there, and again, this little fella will boil up the water, like so you're effectively steaming these eggs.
Yep.
And it cuts out once there's no water. So it knows when to stop. So everything is exactly, all the parameters are exact. So you can guarantee you will get great eggs of whatever type you want. But it's brilliant, and we use it all the time. So that I've just realised that the reason I like that egg cooker, having dismissed it as bullshit when she brought it through the door, are the exact reasons I'm going to continue to fall deeper in love with my air fryer.
So I was just going to say, look, I know I'm about to say it's impossible. You can't accidentally come halfway, find the podcast and be halfway into it. So you just listen to that last section. But anybody who did, if that was possible, would go, oh, look, it's a couple of middle-aged men to talk about home cooking. Mildly controversial. What's this bullshit? They're talking about cooking.
I was like, the mildly controversial bit is that I've slagged off air fryers for a long time.
Oh yeah, and I want to add to just my little thing in one sentence. I want to add to your egg cooker, rice cooker, same thing.
Oh
Perfect.
really? Really?
Mate, you got a level. You got cups for the amount of rice. Then there's a level inside for the water. You press cook. It pings when it's fucking finished. Keeps it warm for you. It's perfect every time.
And it's bob on rice, is it?
Absolutely spot on.
See, most of the rice we do is going to go in with something. So quite often it'll be mixed in with chili for a burrito, or it'll be like a fried rice or something like that. So I feel like that is one appliance. The reason I say this is because Emma's quite fastidious in the fact that she doesn't like a lot of things on the worktop.
Yeah. Okay.
So she would always use the toaster and then put it back in the cupboard. Which, interestingly, if anybody is listening from Northern Ireland or Ireland, that is kind of a thing that they suggest is a Catholic Protestant thing. They'll be like, "Oh, do you keep your toaster on the side? Yeah, you're Catholic." Whereas Emma's Catholic and she tidies it away. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
That's
had
a brilliant fact, by the way.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a kind of it's a bit of a stereotype.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like seen as a stereotypical difference between the two. But she don't like anything on there. So kettle would be allowed, right?
Yeah,
because that's always there, and that's always in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But then we got a coffee machine.
Yes,
same type of one you've got, Tassimo.
Tassimo.
And every time when that started, she was putting it down away, and then she's bringing it out when we need to use
then
it.
You realise it's got water in it.
I was just, it's too much of a pain in the ass. And then we got a espresso maker from her mum. She was getting rid of it.
Or an espresso.
Yes, or an espresso, if you want to be wrong and piss me off. Again, if you're new to the podcast, I don't know which one. You'll have to listen to the other 76 of them.
It's one long podcast now, isn't it?
Exactly. This is episode 77. Yeah. I edited and posted 76 today. So this one's 77. So yeah, you got 76 to catch up on. Crack on. Not yet. Wait. Listen to the end of this one, then go. So yeah, that was that one. And then she gets the egg cooker. Then it's this. So now we've gone from having nothing on the side to having we've got like a full-on suite of appliances now. Yeah, left to right now, we've got kettle, air fryer, Tassimo machine, espresso machine, slow cooker. That does go away most of the time, but it's used every day, so it's it's always there.
It can be there for a couple of days.
And then toaster. So we got this man. We've got a squad. We've got a squad of household appliances now.
You know, I like inviting comments.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is fascinating. Like, if you're new to the podcast, sorry. If you're an old hand of the podcast, you know this is what happens. We end up going on tangents where you think, what the fuck are these two people talking about now? But we should definitely have what appliances fall into this category, because I've never thought about it before.
What appliances? What appliances are acceptable to be out?
Yes, on the side, on the.
And what do you put away?
Yeah. But I think it's brilliant because I've never thought about it before. So yeah, slow cooker for me is one away. We've currently got out it goes toaster, then we've got the coffee machine, and the kettle's on the left hand side of the toaster, but on a different thing. But we've also got another station, which has got the air fryer on and the microwave, which is just like the separate pingy bit on the other side.
Things that make noise, things that don't make noise.
But in the old house, because Liz likes certain appliances made by a company called KitchenAid. If you want to sponsor us, KitchenAid. So she always used to keep the mixer out because they're quite beautiful.
Yeah, they're pretty.
If anything can be beautiful in the kitchen, they are quite nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not quite a DeLonghi kettle, but let's bypass that one.
So do you know what we've inadvertently strayed into, Baz?
Yes.
A few episodes, we had a couple on who met on the Dull Men's Club. We've just done, inadvertently strayed into the mildly controversial version of the Dull Men's Club and enjoyed every fucking second of it.
But it's slightly weird because it's not something I ever thought about. But actually, the moment you mentioned it, I was kind of like, so weird. I bet everybody in the world who has a kitchen has a thing that, acceptable items that are out and things that are going away, because it used to be a rice cooker for me, but we don't use it so much these days because there's only 2 of us. Well, there was always 2 of us, but I don't eat as much rice.
So to clarify what we want you to do, if you're on the audio, get over to Facebook, facebook.com/mildlypod. And if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, you can go to YouTube as well if you're listening on the audios. That is youtube.com/mildlypod. Go over to one of the places you can leave comments under it and tell us stuff left to right. What is your squad of appliances that are out on the side? And then underneath that put cupboard and then put the ones that you put away.
Yeah.
Because it's not controversial. It's not even mildly controversial, but me and Baz would be fascinated, so humour us.
Honestly, I've never had a surprise subject that's come up that I've been literally like, fuck, that's brilliant. I love it. Such a weird thing.
We're not going to do a special on this at any point.
No, this is the special.
This is the special. This is the kitchen appliances special. I'm not going to call it that either, because if we call it that, no fucker's going to listen to it or watch it.
Yeah, if you are still listening, you say this all the time. If you are still listening at this stage, well done.
Well done and thank you. That's very charitable of you. We know that the entertainment level of this podcast has dropped off as me and Baz just indulge ourselves in talking about shit that doesn't matter. To be fair, Baz, that's what the whole podcast is from the first.
Oh no! Sometimes we're very much within. Yeah, we stay within the boundaries. This one's gone so far away from the original thing. It's ridiculous.
We do usually steer this podcast within the lines of mildly controversial, but this is neither controversial nor mildly or anything like that. It's just this is just mildly interesting.
This is like the Titanic of podcasts. It's about to crash into a massive iceberg and go down.
Right, I'm not going any further, Baz. No. I don't want to talk about anything else. That's it. And on that bombshell, we'll see you again next time when we may stick to the point of the podcast, or we may just chunter away like 2 lonely middle-aged men who have got nothing better to do than talk about fucking kitchen appliances.
Oh mate, I'm not gonna lie. There's going to be a side podcast. It's going to create a new one, which is called Men Cook, or Men Who Can Cook, or Men Who Air Fry. That's what it'll be. Men
who press button on an appliance where they can go do something else, and it'll remind them to come back to it without burning the house down.
Can't believe how much fun this was.
We'll work on the title of that one. It needs to be a little bit snappier. Anyway, thanks Baz for being here. Thanks everyone for listening, and goodbye.